right. This one is to do with graphs, and it's pretty much straightforward, quite a bit of work. So they want us to go to the graph worksheet. If we're going to have a look at it, this is the graph worksheet over here. And you've seen these questions before, I've often given them to you before. So instead of words and instructions and telling you do this, do that, I just say, maak hom so skarp. Okay, you're not the scarp, but you get the idea. Right, there's the picture, in other words, and I'm saying, right, here's this picture, it must look like that. In other words, please make me pretty and look like the one on the right hand side. Okay. Let's see what we can do. Okay, what are the things that are different here? Quite a few. Some of them are easy, some of them are difficult to fix, possibly. Okay, first thing is first here. Notice this one only goes to October and this one goes to December. Okay, now you'll find that it's based on this data up here. You can see already that graph should be going down to that. Now, one thing you can do is redraw the graph from scratch. That's the one option that you have. Is to redraw the graph from scratch. What do you think? Nah, let's just change this one. Okay. So what I'm going to do is go to source data, and I'm going to say, right, I don't want to do this. This is going from A2 down to C11. I want this thing to go down all the way down to the 13th row. So I'm going to change it here so that it includes C13. So it's going to go all the way down. Okay, let's just see what it's looking like at the moment. I'm going to move it up now so we can see them nicely alongside of each other. Okay, they don't have to be the exact same size, but approximately, obviously. Okay, so that's the other thing here is these things are at right angles, so we can format the axis and alignment, and we can spin it at 90 degrees. Remember, 90 degrees goes both ways, but I think they wanted to point up. Okay, so that's looking better already. On this axis, it starts at 200. And it goes up in steps of 50, and it's in blue, and it's in currency. Okay, let's format the axis, and that's all going to be under our scale options. Ach nee man. What are we saying? Scale. Yeah, we want to start the minimum at 200. That's fine. We don't worry about the maximum, it'll sort itself out. We want to go up in steps of 50. That should do that. Okay, we're getting closer. Plus we just need to do a bit of formatting now. I'd also like this to be in currency, and I'd like it to have 2 decimal places. No, I don't want to have any decimal places. I don't actually want to have any decimal places. And I'd like it to be in a font color so it looks like a bluish font color. Okay, right, you can see that's going up there. Not sure why that's going up to 700 at this stage. Okay, just leave that for the meantime. Okay, the left hand ones, these little blue things should be in red, so we've got to select them separately, which can be quite tricky sometimes. Okay, so those little poles, those little bluish poles must be in red. So I'm going to format the data series, I'm going to put them in red. Okay, now we're looking much closer. And I'm going to format the data series, and this one must be in green. So now I've got red and green poles, that's looking much better. I need a heading, income versus expenditure, and there must be a title down this axis as well. Okay, so chart options, titles. Okay, the graph title that they used was income versus expenditure. Income. Yeah, you're not going to get penalised for spelling mistakes, but you know, it doesn't create a good impression, let's be honest. And the y-axis, I want it had to say something like value in rand or something, amount in rand. Amount in rand. Amount in rand. Okay, looking a lot better. The fact that it's not exactly the same font, really, not a big problem. Okay, got this thing sort of, the series are sort of appearing here, whereas in the other one, it was in the top right hand corner, so we're going to need to shift that up. which we can obviously just do that, but I just want to format the legend at this stage. Placement, top, you can say, which is not where I wanted it to go. So let's undo that. We can actually just drag it up. I'll do that later. Our biggest problem is that this thing's called Series 1 and Series 2, and I want it to be called Expenses and Income. So what I can do is I can go to my source data. This is quite a tricky one actually. I can go to my series. There's Series 1, and it hasn't got a name at the moment. Okay, and I do want to give it a name. I want to call it Expenses. And there's Expenses. And I can go to Series 2. It also hasn't got a name at this stage, and I'm going to call it Income. And that's looking a lot better already. And you can drag that up there wherever you need to go and park it off. Park it off up there. And we're pretty much there. This thing is a three-dimensional chart. It actually might muck it up a bit, but yeah. Man, behave yourself. No grid lines that have been taken out or anything like that. In the background looks the right color. Chart type. This is a column chart. We can turn it into a 3D chart. See, it sort of does that. Okay, so it's the 650 out. I'd actually give you full marks for that, to be quite honest. But the perspective, it needs to be changed to 0. That's actually quite a lousy. Okay, that was a good idea at the time, wasn't it? You get the idea, sort of. And that's it. Okay, right, let's just get rid of those ones and get them out the way. And look at this graph that we've got going on down here. And you're going to kind of draw that graph. Okay, so we need the total income versus the expenditure for the year. So we're going to need totals. Okay, so let's just get the data right first of all. So we're going to have expenditure, and we're going to have, what's the other thing they wanted on this graph? Income. Income versus expenditure. Okay. Just insert a row, yeah? Okay, income. Okay, income now, where do we get that figure from? Well, it's obviously the sum of the one column. And which column is it? It's this column up here. It's the income. There we go. And the expenditure is equal to the sum of the other column. And okay, let's just format them so a little bit neater. You can see what's going on. Okay, now why are we doing all this? Well, we're doing all this because we didn't have the data to draw the graph with. Okay, we needed the totals, and so we've done that. Now we can draw this graph quite comfortably. It's a pie chart. Where's my pie chart? Dude, where's my pie chart? Like, seriously? Oh, there it is there. Next. Okay, you might say, well, it doesn't look like the one. Okay, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Chart title, income versus expenditure. Okay, I'm getting very lazy, so kind of don't do as I'm doing. Data labels, they didn't have percentages, which is normally the thing you have there. They actually had the values. Okay, so the 5202 or whatever it happened to be. Let's just finish our graph and then have a look at and put it up here. And let's just have a look at the other graph, the picture of the graph, to see what it was supposed to look like. Okay, they wanted expense and income down the bottom, and they wanted me to fill this with a cat, and they wanted this to be yellow, and there must be a split. Okay, three things. The split, the cat, the yellow, and the thing at the bottom. Right, we can fix those things, also easy peasy. Okay, the split. If you grab one of the sections there, you can drag it out, yellow at the same time while we're about it. No, I don't want to do that. I want to format it. Format the data point or make it yellow. This one here. This one I want to fill with my cat. And it's given to you. So you go to Fill Effects, Picture, and you go and find your picture. Now obviously your picture is going to be in your T drive or your U drive or wherever it's going to be. Hey, there's some pictures of me. Oh my word, what are these things doing on my computer? Desktop, and I hope they didn't dodge pictures here. Where did I put it? Oh, for heaven's sake, you get the idea, don't you? Okay, let me find it. 2001 stuff, 11 stuff is where I put my stuff here. And cat final revision, and Darcy Kaiki. Hello, kitty. Hello, worm. And there we go. And they wanted the legend at the bottom. Now you can drag it and split it yourself, or you can simply say chart options, legend, and place it at the bottom. You can actually drag it yourself, just as easy. And there we go. Okay, it's a little bit smaller. We can make it a bit bigger. And you've pretty much got that. Wow, this has been a long one, but I mean it's quite straightforward. Okay. Often in an exam they'll give them to you as instructions. Okay, which actually sometimes makes it a bit more difficult because it's longer reading. Whereas here it's given to you visually and you're saying, right, change it so that it looks like that. So just take it step by step. Always a good idea to have an underliner or a highlighter and just highlight the parts of the question because sometimes it's the length of the question you can get to us. Okay, and that's it for the graphies. Bye bye graphies.